Welcome back to Adventures with Bam. I'm Brent Billings.
And I'm Maggie Billings.
And this episode has us looking ahead to Maggie's sabbatical.
Ahead indeed. So I have never taken a sabbatical before. I'm very new to this. Brent, you've never taken a sabbatical either.
It's true. I've never quite been anywhere that does sabbaticals long enough to get to the sabbatical phase.
Not quite. What was the deal at real life? I thought it was 7 years and you were there.
Basically 7 years.
Oh,
like I just hit this. Yeah, I would have been going into it if I hadn't been walking out the door.
Wow. Well, what are you going to do? And Impact doesn't do sabbaticals?
They do. Yeah.
They do. At what point?
Are you kidding me?
Like,
Impact does personal retreat days. Of course we do sabbaticals.
That's true. Good. Okay. What's the timeline on that?
I mean,
7 years?
basically you can, 7 years is the maximum. And I think that's when people typically do it. But you can take a shorter sabbatical basically at any point.
What's the 7 year, what's the length at that point?
I think it's
typically?
100 days.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're at 5 years.
This episode isn't about me.
I know. I'm getting some context.
I am at 5 years.
You're at 5 years. So yeah, I mean, for anyone who hasn't, I've talked to a handful of people who are like, well, what does that mean for you? So I only go into a job where I get paid 1 day a week. I am always
At this point.
At this point. I mean,
you've been 1 day a week for
4 years.
4
almost,
years.
Since Torrin was born.
Yeah. And then before that, you were 3 days a week, essentially. And then before that, you were full time.
Well, yeah, I was 3 after we had Darius. I mean, full time before Darius was born, and then eventually went down to 3 days a week. And then after Torrin was born, went down to 1 day a week because, having both of them in daycare was going to suck up my whole paycheck. So since Brent has the 1 day off a week, or he's got Fridays off, figured if I go in to work on that 1 day, then we don't have to lose my whole paycheck to childcare. So, and it works out. Gives me, a day to shower and be around adults and accomplish tasks without having adorable little people at my ankles the whole time. It's been that way for 4 years, the 1 day a week thing. And that's really great. And also the last, year and a half of our lives have just been really crazy. There's been a lot going on at work and outside of work. And I think how I have been feeling probably the last, 6 to 8 months is just that my windows of time where I get to refill are fewer and farther between, just pretty much every moment that I'm awake, my attention it's on something. Something is always needed from me. I don't get a lot of time and space to do things for myself where I also have energy. At the end of the day, typically is not a great time for me to read a book because I'm exhausted. So I haven't finished a book in years, things like that. So yeah, I am taking a sabbatical. I'll go back to work in 6 weeks, I think. I have 6 weeks off, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember how that timed out. So I'll go back after Easter. Is how that kind of all rolled out. And basically, my life will be the same as it always is, except on Fridays. So instead of going to work, I will leave the house for the same amount of time and do things for myself that day. So
go on a walk, go to the library.
Yeah, I've got a stack of books that I have wanted to read for a long time or have started and not finished. So I'm hoping to work through some books, grow in my knowledge of music theory. Yeah, lots of walks, lots of hiking. I've stocked up on mace and charged my stun gun so I don't have to worry about creepers popping up behind me randomly and silently and suddenly. So yeah, I'm excited. It's hard for me to step away from work that long. I really love my job. I really care about my job and the people there. And it's hard for me to step away from that. And also I know that is really needed for me right now. So yeah, so I'm doing, and coworkers have all been very supportive and very understanding. And, as soon as I was like, hey, I think this is something that I need to do, they were like, absolutely, whatever you need to do is great, which means a lot. And just hit my 10-year anniversary at work too. So, I've been there for a decade and I'm not planning on going anywhere, but am planning on taking a little break. So
beautiful.
Yep.
More to come on that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Hopefully good things.